Hello, I've come to bring sight to the blind. Tell me who's the same and who's not. These are Africans. This is what Africans look like. And this, my friends, is what a Tamerikan looks like. We are the indigenous people of the Americas, and this is what we look like. Now, here's a side-by-side representation of Tamerikkans and Africans. Do you not see the difference between an African and a Tamerikan? Huh? Huge difference. Look at the features.
I came here to the US when I was 11 years old, and I used to ask my parents, why don't Black Americans look like a huge slave trade? Where are all the boats that they used?
Africans and Negroes are two different people. We all think that all black people are the same basically, but they're not. Africans and Negroes are different. They have a different skeletal structure, different skull shape, and one interesting thing is African people, real Africans, cannot grow hair like Negroes can. So African men cannot grow beards. All right? African women cannot grow afros.
Africans, please stop taking offense to us claiming our true identity that these Caucasoids stole from us. It's not an attack on you. Stop taking it personal that we are not claiming ourselves to be Africans. These Caucasoids stole our identity. They erased our identity on paper, and they are the ones that named us Africans, and we're not. We're not the exact same people, and I'm not being divisive by pointing out the differences. And it's also not an attack on Africans like they seem to think, just because we're pointing out the fact that we're different. It's easier to shoot the messenger than it is to go after the people who actually told the lie. Another misconception is that we're mixed. All of us are mixed in America. That's ridiculous. We were actually prisoners of war. Africans who actually migrated to the Americas prior to colonization who were enslaved by them. And yes, some of our people were also enslaved, but the majority of us were prisoners of war. In fact, when they said that we were enslaved, we actually had thriving communities that pale folks were actually stealing from us, and they were bombing, and they were flooding, and they were destroying. But this is actually simultaneously going on during the time they said that we were enslaved. And so it was more so those who were enslaved who ended up being mixed and who were raped by the slave master. This is just how we look. We're not mixed. We're just totally different people from Africans. All so-called black people didn't start out looking like Africans. That's a false misconception. Understand that my goal is not to be divisive. I'm not trying to divide people. I'm just trying to set straight my people's identity that was actually stolen from us by the Caucasoids. And it is not an attack on you by claiming our true identity.